There we go. Okay. And we'll see how that goes. So the first thing you need to do is to install Rustlings. I'm assuming Rust is already installed and up and running. You've got Cargo and you've got Rust Analyzer, but we can just make sure Rust update, make sure we're all up to date there. And brew, upgrade, Rust Analyzer, just to make sure that that's up to date. Apparently it's doing a few other things. And it is grabbing a new version of Rust Analyzer. Okay, that's good. All right. And now the command to run is just called Rustlings. But it's not installed. So I think it's just cargo install Rustlings. And that might take a little bit of time to download and compile. Okay, that's not too bad. And the executable is Rustlings. And I think if we just run it, it'll tell us what to do. The exercise directory wasn't found in the current directory. If you're just starting with Rustlings, run the command Rustlings init to initialize it. Okay. So I'm in my dev directory where I have all of my current Rust projects. I believe it will create a Rustlings subdirectory here. Let's find out. Rustlings init. The command will create a directory of Rustlings which will contain the exercises. Press enter to do continue. Initialization done. Run cd Rustlings to go to the generated directory. And then run Rustlings to get started. Now what's in here? We have a cargo toml, we have exercise, we have solutions. I'm going to take a quick peek. What's in there? Let's just pick O3 if. Okay, so they have solutions in here. Interesting. I'm not going to look at those, obviously. Phil, hello. Good to see you. So let's see. Let's see what it'll take. If I just run Rust, first of all, let's see what's in here in terms of. So there is a Git repo. Okay. So the Git repo does not include exercises, but it does include the solutions. It also doesn't include the cargo.toml or the git ignore. Interesting. What's in here? Oh, it doesn't include solutions either. Okay, good to know. So there's nothing in here. What files are in this thing? No commits yet. Oh, are they asking us to maybe commit each solution? I don't know. I'm not going to worry about that though. Let us run Rustlings and see what we get. Control sequence attempt to clear scrollback history. Allow this in the future. Always deny. I hate when it clears scrollback. Because then you can't do this. Is this your first time? Don't worry, Rustlings is made for beginners. I'm not a beginner, but I'm going to go through it anyway. Maybe I'll learn something. I did learn something last time I reran Rustlings. We had a lot of fun with it. So here we go. The central concept behind Rustlings is to use solve exercises. The exercise usually contains some compiler or logic errors which cause the exercise to fail, compilation or testing. It's your job to find all errors and fix them. Make sure to have your editor open in the Rustlings directory. Rustlings will show you the path of the current exercise under the progress bar. Open the exercise file in your editor, fix the error, save the file. Rustlings will automatically detect file change and rerun the exercise. Nice. If all errors are fixed, Rustlings will ask you to move on to the next exercise. If you're stuck on an exercise, enter H to show a hint. If an exercise doesn't make sense to you, feel free to open an issue on GitHub. Okay, we look at every issue, and sometimes other learners do too, so you can help each other out. Very good. Boom. Hello and welcome to Rustlings. This exercise compiles successfully. Okay, so we did the first one already. Remaining exercises contain a compiler or logic error. The central concept behind Rustlings is to fix these errors and solve the exercises. Good luck. All right, so this is Intro 1 RS. So let's go there. Rustlings exercises. I guess I can just pull up nvim and look for, right, nothing's in Git. So maybe I want to rebind my my P key to files CR. Oh, it's still doing that. And maybe it's no. No, I gotta fix this so that I can actually pull it up when I need it. So apologies for the interruption here. Config nvim init lua. Where do I map control P? Config nvim no lua. There it is. All right, so we're going to just change this to files. So we get everything, and we'll get everything, but that's okay. We'll just use Fuzzy Finder to find everything. There we go. Okay. So now this is intro 1. And it's just this thing here. So we don't actually have to do anything. All right. So that means we can just go over here and hit next. Oh, is there a hint for this? I guess there's no hint. Oh, the hint is enter N to move on to the next exercise. What does list do? Oh, neat. Okay, this is new. This is new. It's got a little crab, and you can see which exercises are pending. I see at the bottom here you can hit continue at. You can reset everything. Ouch, I don't want to do that by accident. All right. So continue. I'm hitting continue. It's not doing it. Quit. Okay, quit. Next. Here we go. Error cannot find macro print line in this scope. All right, so now we're on the first one we actually have to fix. So what are we trying to learn here? Is that the name of the macro is not print line but print ln. And that should do it. Oop, I gotta not do that. I hit Control D to save and rebuild, but obviously it popped into the next thing that has an error. All right, so that one was easy. So all we did was change print line to print ln. All right, so that was intro 2. So again, what they were trying to teach us was it's print ln for the macro. Let's go to the next one. All right, so we have variables 1 is the name of this one. And it says can't find value x in the scope. Variables 1. There we go. To do, add missing keyword. Okay, so what they're just trying to teach you here is that you have to use the let keyword to define a variable. You can't just assign it like you can in, say, JavaScript or in Python or whatever. So I'm going to just use :W to save. There we go. So we're done. We've done 2 out of 94 exercises. Very good. Let's go to the next one. Type annotations needed. I'm just reading the first error here. So what they're trying to teach you is that sometimes you actually have to specify the type if it's ambiguous. So let's go to variables 2. Change the line below to fix the compiler error. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. One of the things Clippy is suggesting is to add a type there, and we can definitely do that. We can also assign a value to it, because I don't think setting the type will be sufficient. If I just say, for example, I32 here, it's going to say it's not initialized, right? Because we don't know what the value is. And now it's suggesting at this point to add a value for it. And we can do that 42 like that. But if we do that, then we actually don't need the type, because this defaults already to an I32. We can specify a different type by putting it afterwards, U32. And now X is a U32. And that works as well. Some people like to put an underscore there just to separate things, make it nice and obvious what the difference is between the value and the type is. But those are the various ways you could solve this one. And it says X is not 10. If we change it to 10, obviously the if statement will make it say X is 10. There you go. All right, that was easy. Next. Error, use binding X isn't initialized. Yeah, so that's what we just saw. It's anticipating stuff, I guess. Variables 3. And here all we need to do is assign a value to it. And that solves that issue. So it's saying that if you have a value, you have to actually assign it to something before you use it. If I get rid of that, all right, go back to the error, I believe, let's find out, is you can assign it once and it'll work. But because it's not mutable, you can't assign it again, right? 11, cannot mutate immutable variable x is showing up here. So you can mutate it once because you're not really mutating it, you're assigning it the value. And you can see on the left side here, Clippy is saying, hey, you could just combine these two statements into one statement by doing that. There. All right. That was variables 3. What does variables 4 give us? Cannot assign twice to immutable variable. Oh, see, again, I shouldn't do the whole explanation thing, right? R4. So this is saying assign 3 to x, and now we're saying assign 5 to x. It's saying don't change this line. Okay, but we still want to fix a compiler error. The only way we can do that is make this mutable by putting the mut keyword or mut keyword. And it becomes mutable. So we can now change it from 3 to 5 because it's mutable. All right. That's what we're being taught there is the mutable keyword. What's next? Variables 5, mismatched types. So this is 3. Don't change this line. Number equals 3, expected a string and found an integer. And now we're trying to add. So let's go to the assignment itself. Variables 5, and see what they're saying. Fix the compiler error by changing the line below without renaming the variable. Well, one of the things you can do in Rust is called shadowing, where you can have one variable with a name and then have another variable, same name, that shadows or hides the first one. And all we have to do is put the word let in front of it to create a brand new variable that throws away this one and shadows it, basically. So that should solve that one. So they're both saying number, but this number is an I32 and this number is a reference to string type. So that's how you solve that one. All right, what's next? Variable 6, missing type for const item. Okay, so that's just teaching us that consts need types to be explicitly defined. So we can do that, and that'll solve that. Note that it's different to variables, and I can put x in here just so it doesn't complain about it not being used. And notice it doesn't need a type because this 3 defaults to an I32. I can make this a U32, for example. Doesn't matter what type it is. But variables don't need an explicit type if it can infer the type. Consts do need an explicit type. All right, that's variable 6. Oh, and now I have to fix the compilation error I added. Okay, there we go. JK07, thank you for the follow. Welcome.